you kiss and hug. Go get a room if you want that stuff. I'm gonna show you how to love. You gotta, if you want my.
We're here with Mr. Mick Garris, a director of Sleepwalkers and writer of Hocus Pocus and numerous other films. So, how are you doing today?
Having a great time.
Glad to hear. Now, you were invited as part of the Sleepwalkers reunion. How did you get involved with directing Sleepwalkers?
It was the first time I worked with Stephen King, and the studio was looking for a director, and he had seen Psycho and liked it a lot. He had director approval, and it has a similar theme to Sleepwalkers in certain aspects, those features. We ended up being very sympathetic. What I wanted to do was very much in line with what the studio wanted to do, and what came out. And we worked out.
Alright. You and Brian are the only two here at Horrorhound Weekend. For this, are you guys going to be at the screen of Sleepwalkers?
Yes, definitely. I'm looking forward to that with the Fritz the Night Owl horror host, whom I've never met or seen.
Now, I talked with you briefly the other day, and you mentioned that there was a Sleepwalkers screening somewhere that was just completely packed.
Last year in Hollywood, the Silent Movie Theater, which doesn't show Silent Movie Theater, there's an organization called the Synapse Films, and they do retrospectives and all kinds of art house and other kinds of things. And they put together a Sleepwalkers screening, midnight screening. And Machen and Brian and Tony Gardner, the effects guy, and a bunch of the cast and crew were there. And it was a midnight show, so we did our Q&A first, and then showed the movie. And yeah, it was sold out. It was a really great time. It was the first time I'd seen a lot of those people in 20 years.
Now, do you have a favorite movie of yours own person that you directed or wrote?
You know, it changes all the time. It depends. Sometimes it's The Stand because it resonated with so many people. Sometimes The Shining. There's a movie called Riding the Bullet that was also a Stephen King adaptation that not many people saw. That's the one that's most personal to me, closest to me.
Well, thank you for taking time out of your day to talk with us.
No worries. Well, it's a pleasure. All right, have a good time.
Thank you.
I'd like to bring Michael Grainer up to join me up here. He's going to kind of explain to you what's about to happen.
I was lucky I got drafted, and well, after basic training, they made me a lifeguard at Walter Reed Hospital, where I was supposed to teach psychotics to swim. The class never showed up, and then they transferred me. And I gotta tell you, war was hell, because they sent me to New York City, actually a story along that, to make right act narrated movies for the Army training film.
And fortunate enough to have directed more Stephen King than anyone has. He asked me to do The Stand, The Shining miniseries, Band of Bones, Desperation, Riding the Bullet, lots of things together. And I could not be more honored by that. And I know that Michael is a very intimidating guy, so I apologize for that. But I'm happy to answer any questions you might have about the movie or anything else we've been involved in. And I hope I enjoy this, and I hope you enjoy it even more. Thanks a lot for having me.
We are here with Mr. Alexander J. Hamilton, the host of the Chump Change Freak Show, I believe? Variety show. And he is also emceeing the concert that is later tonight. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm hungover, as I should be.
Good.
How are you?
I'm good. I don't drink, but I'm good.
Oh, fair enough.
We're sober and awake.
Yeah, that's good. I need people like you.
So, how did you get started with the Chump Change Variety Show?
Well, I started doing a lot of street performing and theater, and then I got interested in sideshow circus stuff about 10 years ago, and just started doing sideshow and circus. And then as time goes on, you become interested in other art forms and other theater forms. And the whole idea of the variety show is so I can work with people that would not be in a circus, would not be in a sideshow. And so I can work with burlesque people, I can work with puppeteers, I can work with comedians and musicians. And it's like a modular format. So if somebody new is there, I can bring them up on stage. I can recycle those other people I have. It just works out well. It's like the Muppet Show without puppets and dick jokes.
Now, how did you get to be the MC of the concert?
Well, I've been working with Horrorhound since day one. And I just kind of fell into the job. You know, I helped run entertainment with a couple of it with Jessica and Woody, and to a lesser degree Nathan the promoter. He's a power veto. But we just started running the entertainment. We would kind of pick who was going to be playing, and then try to format the other entertainment according to who was on board already.
If anybody came to the Sideshow just to see one act, what would it be?
It's hard for me because I'm so jaded. I've been doing this for so long that I know everything. I know it all.
Yeah.
They're old man. But recently there's a thing in New Orleans called the Southern Sideshow Hootenanny. It's now in its second year, and it's all performers from all around the world who go and they assemble and we do shows for each other, which is very daunting because everybody in the audience has done what you do, and so they're not watching the stunt, they're not watching the thing, they're watching the execution of it, they're watching how you perform.
Okay.
So you get on stage and I usually get what I call the pre-show apathy, and I'm like, maybe they'll cancel, I don't care, whatever. And then I get on stage and it's like, invigorating. I talk for a living. So it's like a real charge. The audience gives you the spark and the energy. But at the Sideshow gathering, I was actually shaking and nervous because in the audience, there's people who've been doing this for 50 years. There's these like legends in the industry. One fella, AJ, I love this guy to death. He wrote a book called The Art of Schmoozing. And the audio book is read by Penn Jillette. Penn and Teller hire him to sit in the audience when they're doing a new act to give them notes. Like that, this guy's a fucking legend. So he's right in front of me, right there. And I'm like, oh. So it went well. And what I'm getting to with this is I actually saw somebody, this guy, Harley Newman, who's kind of a legend himself, and he's 50-something years old. He did a bed of nails with one nail. And I, for the first time, in almost 10 years, I stood up. I was like, my stomach had butterflies, and the way he does this is he has the nail. It's about a 6-inch spike, 6-8 inches, and on a piece of wood. He places it just center of his spine, kind of like by where his kidneys and stuff are. And then he has two volunteers who kind of they don't hold him, they just kind of steady him so he doesn't honor him. And then he does it. And it was incredible. It was absolutely incredible. So, what would I say people should see? It's difficult to say because it's the presentation. I've had people come and do stuff that they've had to rehearse for years to master and learn, and they do it really well. And have somebody come and do something stupid with their genitals, and the people go, oh, the balls, hey! I'm talking about myself. I've seen a lot of my nuts, and the guys are like, I've been fucking practicing, and you just use a little bit of physics and have some crack in your nuts, and that's all they talk about. It's like the prettiest girl at the ball.
I would have thought sword swallowing would have been your favorite.
I love sword swallowing. I do. It's wonderful. Are we making a dick joke?
Yes. Shut up.
For shame. How dare you, sir?
The final question that I have for you: how did the show go last night?
It was phenomenal. It went really well, and I was a little nervous because we were more burlesque. But my sword swallower actually is going to join us on this tour a little bit later because she had a oral surgery. Oh, yeah. So they were kind of delayed. So we had a lot of burlesque, and I wasn't sure how that was going to go over. We held the whole place. The room was packed. Everyone stayed. I had a couple people heard today that they were like, it was basically pornography. And so I don't know if they're talking about my thing or the movie, but either way.
Either way.
That's going to get people in.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And how can people contact you if they look?
ChumpChangeVariety.com.
Right. And I know I was going to ask, where's your next stop?
We are going on Monday, we're going to be in Indianapolis at the Melody Inn. Tuesday, Pittsburgh, the Smiling Moose.
And all over the place.
Yeah, we just today booked another Cincinnati gig.
You overlook?
He said once every season. The Overlook Lodge.
Oh, nice. Well, thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.
We're here with Ryan Stacy and Sean Burkett, the director of Don't Go Fuck in the Woods, and the director of Midsummer Nightmares.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes.
All right. So how are you guys doing today?
Well, how are you?
I am good. How did you guys get involved with directing?
Well, I started out in porn. No.
We went to school together.
We went to school together. We used to hang out at this Waffle House and chain smoke cigarettes and play this movie game, which is something everybody should know about. I'm sure every city has their own version, but it's like, here, you start. This is fun. Catch on.
Okay, so then if it's a horror convention, we'll just do horror films.
Okay.
Carrie.
Sissy Spacek.
Okay, that's not a good one.
I know.
You should have said PJ Souls, and then we could have gone
Well,
somewhere.
okay, PJ Souls.
Halloween.
Donald Pleasance.
Halloween 6.
Paul Rudd.
Clueless.
And you kind of go back and forth until somebody is stumped, and then they get a letter, and
like
you
horse.
spell movie.
Oh.
So, yeah, that's how we kind of met.
We wanted to do films, and I think we really started talking about one night when Sean was giving me a tattoo. And we just decided, let's do it, let's try it. And that's where we came with Midsummer Nightmares. That was our first film, 5 years ago.
Oh, wow. And you guys are also known as Concept Media, which I forgot to mention.
Yes.
How do you guys become Concept Media?
Paperwork.
$350 in an LLC. Find other people to buy you equipment. And then that's
We've had some generous backers, people who have really helped us out. And actually the last few films we did, there was really no money put into them.
Yeah.
We just got together and actually we specifically decided we were going to make a few movies to get here for horror.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So that's why The Lamb was for. My new film, It's Your Fault. Sean remastered the Midsummer Nightmare films and put them on Blu-ray. And we've just been going.
Okay. Now, one of the more interesting films in your oeuvre, shall we say, is Don't Fuck in the Woods. So, how did you come up with Don't Fuck in the Woods, which is the best title I've ever heard, by the way?
I wanted to pay homage to all the 80s slasher flicks that I liked, and well, 90% of them were in the woods. But it's like, back then, I don't know, I overthink about things. And it was like, I wonder how many of these people were just like, okay, you know if you have sex in the woods, you're gonna die. Something's gonna kill you. Like, I wonder if somebody else thought about calling it just Don't Fuck in the Woods. So then at that point I was like, well, there's your selling point right there, just in the title. So I just ran with it. It's got a lot of negativity though, just because fuck is in the title.
Oh.
That's also my favorite word.
I say fuck them.
Right?
Your first film was 5 years ago?
Yes.
Okay. So how many films altogether do you guys have?
Oh my gosh, okay, we have, let's see, we can name them.
We have Midsummer Nightmares, The Sleeping Soul, Bludgeon, Watch This,
Midsummer 2.
Midsummer 2,
Watch
This, Shameless Revenge,
Season's Greetings.
Season's Greetings, The Lamb, and It's Your Fault.
We had 8.
I count 9.
9?
And if people cannot make it to, say, Horrorhound, and they would like to purchase one of your awesome films, where can they do that? Where can they get a hold of you guys?
ConceptMediaLLC.com.
They can email us directly. I'm Ryan at ConceptMediaLLC.com.
And I'm Sean at ConceptMediaLLC.com.
Which you can find our films there, all the information about those, our stores there. And Sean and I also, when we have time, we have a podcast. So, yeah, we try to do some fun things on there.
Thank you for your time, guys. We appreciate it.
Hey, not a problem. Thank you.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's for the
This song's called Creativity Riot. me up here because we all kind of can't hear them. It's off my first off of my takes, and you can check it out in our merch booth. This is the place to kiss at home. Look in the room if you want that stuff. I'm gonna give you shit all in love. You gotta if you want mine.
Syndrome, and he puts out Blu-rays, DVDs of both the adult variety and slasher variety. So how did you guys come up with the idea for Vinegar Syndrome?
Well, our co-owners of the company, Ryan Emerson and Joe Rubin, they're two film archivists who got together in Chicago a few years ago, and this idea of restoring and preserving these exploitation, horror, vintage adult-rated films, and just getting them out there, because no one was really rescuing the exploitation films. Aside from silent films, exploitation films represent the second most lost number of films, where no one knows where they are or anything like that. So we try to, save what we can, and we have our own film archive, we have our own film lab, we have our own restoration suites. I'm the head restoration artist, and we have a number of great people working with us to bring it all out.
What was the hardest movie for you to restore?
Honestly, probably my first, because I was still learning, but Ryan gave me the go-ahead to, hey, I think you're ready to go through it, and it was the lost films of Herschel Gordon Lewis, and it was 3 different films where I went frame by frame, and these are about roughly 80-minute films, and there's about 120,000 frames in one 90-minute film, so that one took a while. That was about 3 months of work, just frame by frame every day, but it was well worth it. It was a great learning experience, and I've since restored probably over 100 films at this point.
And you guys also have exploitation.tv?
Yeah, so exploitation.tv, it's a streaming service that we offer, and it's kind of basically all of it you would not find on Netflix, you would not find on any other streaming service. We have 6 different companies, working together on it. You'll find Severin stuff on there, you'll find Brighton House Releasing, you'll find Massacre Video, and you'll find our stuff as well. And it's just a great thing we launched, and it's building slowly, but we're still building it and building it better every day.
What is your favorite Vinegar Syndrome?
I would still have to go with The Telephone Book. It's kind of our most underseen film as well, but it's this great, almost Andy Warhol-esque comedy where it's shot in black and white in the 1970s. It's from one of the original writers of SNL, Nelson Lyon. It has a number of people who worked with Andy Warhol in it, and there was an intermission with Andy Warhol in the original version, but it's been lost forever, unfortunately. But that's probably one of my favorites. But as far as slashers, Madman is fantastic. We came out with Frightmare. That's another great one. We got a few great upcoming ones. We have Psychic Killer coming out in May, which is probably the most gore-filled, nudity-filled, PG-rated movie out there. I don't know why they rated it. It was the 70s. It was different, but there's gore and nudity in it, but it's PG, so it's a lot of fun.
How long have you been?
Right now, I've been with the company for 4 years. Yeah, and the company.
100 films in 4 years.
Probably at this point, I keep forgetting. Some of our films are double features too, so it's around 200 films at this point. Yep. Plus we have a sister company, OCN Digital, who does work for other labels as well. So there's those as well.
So how can people find you if they want to get a hold of you?
Just go to vinegarsyndrome.com. Even if you type in, vinsyn.com, VINSYN, it'll take you right to it, and it'll take you right to the site.
Thank you for your time.
Yep, thank you very much.
We're here with Brian Williams and Scott Schirmer, the cinematographer and editor and director of Harvest Lake, one of the newer films from you guys. So, how are you guys doing today?
Doing good. Sunday, Horrorhound Weekend, Cincinnati. We're ready to share some more love with people.
Good. So, how did you guys come up with the idea for Harvest Lake?
We were bored. We like sexy people. We decided, well, let's put sexy people in a movie. Okay, what are they going to do? Well, we like sex. They should have sex with something. So we were like, well, what do they have sex with? And then, well, each other. That's a no-brainer. And then maybe a tree and some grass and fungus and a monster in the lake too.
100%.
So, how long ago did you guys film Harvest Lake?
We shot it last month.
August. Yeah, it just had its world premiere last weekend, so this is the first con that the Blu-rays are available at.
Oh, nice. Now, do you have any?
I know Friday night was showing. How did the showing go?
It went well. It was a packed room. They got a new setup here at Horrorhound this year with their audio and video, so there was a little bit of technical difficulties at the beginning, but everybody stuck around, and once it got going, it went great.
Now, what is your guys' next project? Or are you not allowed to talk about it?
We don't want to talk too much more.
Oh.
Yeah.
But it's going to be horror.
The horror movie that we'll be shooting in May.
All right. Well, thank you. If people want to get a hold of you guys, where can they find you?
Oh God, we don't want to get a hold of this.
Yeah.
To buy your movies.
Yeah.
Well, they can do that. They can go to banditmotionpictures.com, and that's where they can find Harvest Lake. And if they want to look up Headless, then they can go to forbiddenfilms.net.
All right. Thank you so much for your time.
No problem. Thank you.
Yeah. We are here with Fritz the Night Owl, and he is a horror host. How did you get started in such a fascinating career?
It was accidentally, quite frankly. I was on radio from as a disc jockey from 1959 until 2010. But in '74 there was an opening up on TV for what they called the booth announcer, which no longer exists in television. And the booth announcer was the program that would run, like MASH or something, and it would run for 28.5 minutes, and the local stations would have a minute and a half that they could sell commercials between. And a lot of times the commercials were voiceover, slide, or movie, or just straight copy. And the booth announcer was the guy that would read the copy, would turn the page, and they would have like the movie preview, and there'd be 25 seconds of dynamite preview, and the guy would say, it's tomorrow at these theaters. Now showing these theaters. See it for the last night, tomorrow night. And he'd come on and put those little tags. Well, as part of my shift, I ended up being the voiceover guy for the late night movie, which was called Armchair Theater. And then they decided to do an all-night show on a Saturday, and they called it Night Owl Theater, and they had, our art department created a little cartoon owl. And what happened was when I did the first one, the little cartoon owl came up, and I had provided some jazz music for the background. And I thought, well, why just say, we'll be back to Rory Calhoun and the Red House after these words. So I just started to BS about the movie over the jazz, and as I sat on the screen and saw this cartoon owl, and there would be like, there'd be 7 breaks, an open, close, and 4 breaks in the movie, 5 breaks in the movie. And so since people knew my voice from the radio, they started to write letters to Fritz the Night Owl. It was called Night Owl Theater, but there was no character host. But the mail was so good, my boss, who was a very creative guy, he said, why not, let's have a live character as Fritz the Night Owl. Our art department made these glasses, and they came right off the rack at Revco, which is a drugstore like CVS. And then he added the horns and the little broken glass. We had a starburst filter on the canvas, so that the glass being at odd angles, when I would turn my head, unpredictably you get these flashes of light. And of course this was in the 70s, so the dopers really loved that. They'd get a light show and a movie at the same time. And that was just the way it happened. And so essentially what I did was radio on television for the movies. It was, and my boss, had money and good taste in movies, and so I was on 7 nights a week. 2 nights were pre-taped, and the other 5 were live, so I was there till 4 in the morning talking. Oh, I love those things. Oh, when I would have to substitute for the all-night DJ guy playing music, that was the greatest shift in radio, lowest paying. But I'll tell you, I would go back to being an all-night disc jockey as long as I could pick my own music. And anytime an offer came through, so if you guys win the lottery, buy a radio station and hire me, I work for scale. And I don't start drinking until after I'm off the air. Never before.
Now, last night you showed, or yesterday I should say, you showed Sleepwalkers.
Yeah.
You mentioned that you had won several Emmys.
6.
6 Emmys. How was that here locally then? Or?
No, those were, they have Emmy groups all over, and ours was, it's called the Ohio Midwest chapter. It covers Indiana, Pennsylvania, West Virginia, Indiana, and a bunch of other things. And again, you submit your best work, about 15 minutes of it, and they send it to another city so that they don't judge it and they don't say, oh, I like Fritz, give them a nomination. So they send it to some city where they don't know you, they send you theirs where you don't know them, and you get a nomination, and then you pray that the nominated committee says this guy gets an Emmy. And I've been nominated 20 times, and I've won 6. So I know what it's like to sit there and not have your name called. And, so I'm used to that. If I win, it's great. I got another statue. If I don't win, well, been there, done that before.
How did you get involved with Horrorhound?
Well, Horrorhound, when I was doing the Night Owl on Channel 10 in Columbus, Joe Bob Briggs was doing the movie channel, his drive-in theater. And so for about 6 weeks, he decided to have local movie hosts co-host with him on drive-in. And I was one of the ones he picked. And so I went to New York and I did a movie channel thing. And then when Horrorhound came up and they were having movie hosts, Joe Bob suggested that the following week call me. So thanks to Joe Bob Briggs, we got invited to our first Horrorhound, I think in 2011. And then when they saw what we were doing with the movies, they would ask us to say, well, okay, we've got the stars for Sleepwalkers and the director coming in. Would you do a Night Owl version of that one? Or like I think last year we did the animated, where they had the stars of reanimated. And so what we do is a special Night Owl version, like if you were watching it over the air in, say, 1974 on a commercial station before cable, where each city had its own individual late-night hosts like Boulardi or Zachary or Elvira. And so they said, will you do a Night Owl version of the movie? And we started to do that, and the crowd seemed to like it. And what pleased me was that the directors liked it. I'm a little bit leery about that because, now they're used to seeing a movie host like Bob Dorian who comes on, intros the movie, and the movie runs uninterrupted, and then he does a closeout at the end. And I thought, the newer directors have more power and more sense of what the movies might not like the commercial version breaking up the pace of the film or the flow, to stop to do a host and blah, 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 or the history of the director or whatever, and then 4 commercials and then get back to the movie. So far, knock on the plastic, they've all liked what we've done, and they take copies of the DVD, and all of them have posted on it and all this, so they enjoyed what we did with the movie.
Do you have a final question?
Are you still, besides just doing it Horrorhound, do you do more Night Owl TV?
Oh yeah, Night Owl TV, what we do now is we do 1 movie a month, and we show it the 4th Saturday at midnight at a local movie megaplex, and then we have an encore of the movie on Wednesday at like 7:30, where the day people can come and see it. But so we do that every month, and then again, like for Horrorhound, we do a special movie depending on who Horrorhound has come. And it works out. So
You're so busy then.
Oh yeah. It's a lot better than unloading cement blocks from a truck.
Yeah.
The sun.
How can people get in touch with Fritz the Night Owl, or where can they go to find out where your movies will be?
it's you go to Fritz, FRITZELIVES.com, and there's a Fritz the Night Owl page also on Facebook. Now I must admit, I am internet inept. So my producer, director, and the owl sitter, the guy that takes care of me, he takes care of the Fritz the Night Owl on the internet, Facebook and so forth. So drop us a note there.
We thank you so much for your time.
Oh, my pleasure.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here with Don May Jr. of Synapse Films. How did you get started with the company Synapse?
Well, I had been with Elite Entertainment for a few years, starting in, I think, 93 or 94. My first project was with George Romero on Night of the Dead. And from there, I worked with Elite. I was a part owner of Elite for like 4 years. And then I left Elite Entertainment to start Synapse Films with Jerry Chandler. And this is our 20th year with Synapse. So we started in 96 and it's 2016. So, you know, 20 years going, I'm still doing this.
What was the first movie you guys ever put out?
For us, for me, it was Night of the Dead. For Synapse, we did a documentary called Dario Argento's World of Horror, followed by Documenting the Dead, made up for Dawn. We started with 2 documentaries, and then we graduated to a couple of Jess Franco films, and then we just keep going.
I noticed you guys have the 16mm educational video collection from the 40s and 70s. How did you guys get a hold of
Well,
that?
those were from a different company. There was another company that had put those out, and unfortunately they're no longer really doing anything. So what we did was we bought their inventory, and now we sell it.
Okay.
I would have loved to do some. We actually were going to do a couple of like the driver's ed ones. Early on, I thought, well, the driver's ed ones would be cool, or like the drug ones, you know.
Yeah.
But then they did them, and you know, now we're selling for them.
Okay.
Yeah, I would still love to do. There's millions of those out there.
Yeah.
And I would love to do.
Half of them are just terrible, and
yeah. I mean, I would like Blood Flows Red on the Highway, you know, that kind of stuff. I would love to do that stuff.
One of the movies that you guys sold that I'm really excited about was Mosquito. And I was curious how you guys came up with the idea to sell Mosquito, because that's a very rare.
Well, what happened was, you know, we're Michigan based, and Mosquito was shot entirely in Michigan. And Gary Jones, the director and producer, is from Michigan. And I can't remember how we met Gary, but we ended up getting a phone call one day, and he said, hey, you know, I know you guys are working, so we worked with Josh Becker on Thou Shalt Not Kill Yourself, and we're working with him on a feature disc on Running Time. And they, you know, Josh was in Mosquito, and Gary was like, you know, you guys have been around for a while, let's do Mosquito. I have the rights back, and I'd love to do it. So we took on the project, and it was a troubling one because the materials were sort of kind of all over the place. Hemdale, the company that put out the 2, had handled Mosquito early, and they went bankrupt right when they were doing Mosquito. So everything kind of, you know, went into disarray. And luckily, the director had some material that we could use, and we worked together with him to remaster it in 2K, and we redid the audio in 7.1, and we did the extras in it. So it worked out really well. It came out in October of 2015, and it's selling really well. It's still early, you know, but it's you know, we're seeing a lot of the fans going, oh my God, we just had a screening of Mosquito last weekend in Michigan with the casting. It went very, very well. It was at a smaller convention in Troy, but they had a cast and crew screening of it, and you know, we had people show up for it.
Good.
So it's a lot of fun.
You guys say you restore films in like 2K and get the audio. How long does that process take?
It depends on the movie. Sometimes it takes a long time, like years. Like for Suspiria, we've been working on it for 3 years.
Oh wow.
And you know, Mosquito didn't take too long because the materials were in good shape. We're working on Popcorn now, and it's almost done. And that one took a while, like I was telling you before. The audio from Popcorn just to get the right audio. It took because we had to deal with Sony to get the actual mag track so that we had the best audio. Sometimes, you buy a movie thinking everything's going to be great, and then when you get down to the meat of putting it together, you realize, wait a second, something's off, and it takes longer than anticipated. And because Synapse is a team of two, it takes us a little bit longer sometimes, but the end result is always better quality than some of the majors. The major studios sometimes are just in the business of getting things out as quickly as possible to make as much money as possible on old masters. Don't do any cleanup, just put an old master out. That's not us. We try to do the best we can with new material, scans and mixes and cleanup and extras. And sometimes we're with two people, that takes a lot longer. You have a
I was just going to ask, how do people get into contact with you, get some of these awesome movies that you guys are releasing?
We have a website, synapse-films.com. I think synapsefilms.com works too, but synapse-films.com is where our website is. We sell our product on that website. We also sell on Amazon, through Barnes & Noble, bestbuy.com, that kind of thing. So a lot of our product is available on Amazon. I know a lot of people like to shop there. And but you can call us, email us. If you have a movie you want us to take a look at, you can give us a call and we'll take a look at a screener. We have a lot of independent films, like Worm, for example, and Asylum, which is another indie that we did, where we were just submitted these movies from these low-budget filmmakers, and they said, "Hey, we love your company. Can I send you a copy of my movie to look at?" And we get 30 to 40 submissions a week.
Wow.
And we only really consider maybe 10% of those. And that we luckily 20 years later we're still we still do the bigger movies like Suspiria, and we do a lot of the indie films, like Worm, and even some indie films from the 80s, like Basket Case 2 and 3 and stuff like that. So, as long as we keep doing what we're doing, hopefully we'll be here for at least another 20.
Good.
Thank you so much for your time.
Hey, no problem at all.
All right.
We're here with For the Wolf, and they just finished a wonderful concert last night here at the Nite Cares, I think the concert was called. So, how do you think the concert went?
It was fun.
It was good.
I liked it. I think the crowd liked it.
I think if they were allowed to mosh them, they could.
Yeah. So what was, you guys weren't working on a new album last time we talked to you. What is the progress update on the newest album?
Still writing, talking about, we're in the talks of figuring out where we're going.
Yeah, a lot of songs are really rad though.
Now, with you guys playing here, and you guys I'm assuming will be in India as well?
Of course.
Are there any other tour stops in between?
The last 2 weeks of June, we're going to be coming through down through Texas, Louisiana, back meet the Big Bad in West Virginia, and finish out with
And how was opening for Wednesday 13th?
Oh, that's coming up.
Oh, that's coming up?
Yeah, that's coming up. May 20th in Tulsa, Wednesday 13th. It's going to be badass.
Yeah. Everybody should travel all the way to Tulsa
All the way
to
to
come see us
Tulsa.
at the Vanguard.
Yeah, we have tickets.
Yeah, you can
Come
buy
buy
mine.
them from us. Come drive 10 hours.
And then buy our
And
tickets.
buy a ticket.
Yep. Yeah. Because they're not available online.
Maybe.
Yeah, they're totally available online. But still, drive out and buy them from us.
Yeah.
We get money for that.
How was the push for you guys opening for
Rob Zombie?
Rob Zombie.
Oh, we were in the lead, so everyone pushed us ahead. Last night was a hit, so it ends tonight. So hopefully, and if we get in, we do a battle of the bands for the 3 other bands in one, and then they choose a winning band that night. So.
Who's the coolest person you've opened for so far?
Power Man.
Power Man.
Afro Man.
Oh yeah, we did open for Afro Man one time.
Did you really?
Yeah. It was interesting.
It's the only time we ever Super Bowl before we thought we would try.
Yeah. And it was before he punched that chick. Oh no, it was like a month before.
Wow.
But yeah, Power Man 5000, that show was fun.
That's Rob's brother.
Yeah. Well, is it his brother?
Yeah.
Okay.
Spider.
For some reason I always thought nephew.
Nope. Will you guys be releasing? Oh, you guys were on the It's Only a Movie soundtrack. How long have you guys been working on that, and how did that come about?
Jesus. Those are thrown together in like what, 20 minutes?
What?
Songs?
Yeah, but shit, we knew about having to do this.
We knew about having to do it for like when we first got signed.
That was the first thing
we got this idea and we want you to do this back. And we were like, yes. And then we were like, hey, what about anything? And then they were like, yeah, okay. And then, so it's been like a long time in the making. It's really good.
Now, where can people find? Do you have any of this? Where can people find you if they want to get in touch with your wonderful music and if they want to reach out and touch Joseph personally?
Oh yeah, your golden motor. Touch your golden
motor. Oh, you can touch my golden motor. Here, I'll give you my address, but that would be bad.
CarnivalBand.com. Everything's there.
All right, thanks, man.
That's much.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are here with Mr. Ted White from Friday the 13th, the final chapter. Stuntman, actor, all-around wonderful gentleman. Sir, how are you doing today?
I'm doing just fine.
Thank you. Now, how did you get involved with Friday the 13th, the final chapter?
Well, they called me in for an interview, and I read for the part of a policeman. And they asked me to wait a while. I sat down in the hall and waited about 20, 30 minutes. Several other guys out there my size. And they asked me to come back in. I did. They said, we're going to use you for the marker. I said, great. I said, I'm doing the policeman. They said, no, you're playing Jason. Jason doesn't say anything, and all he does is kill people. Yeah. I better pass on it because I have two boys grown and they have kids. I don't want them to see their grandpa killing people. So I went home. The prop guy lived about a block away. He called me and said, I hear you were at the studio today. I said, yeah. I told him what happened. And he said, Ted, you're crazy. If you take the part, you'll be on hold for 6 weeks. If you're on hold in the motion picture business, you're on full solid. They had to make plastic mask hair up and hold it. So that's how I got it.
And you have stunt double for John Wayne, correct?
Stunt double for John Wayne for 40 years, Clark Gable for 38 years.
What was your favorite movie that you had stunt doubled for John Wayne?
Not even a shadow of a doubt. A movie called Hatari, made in 1960 in Africa.
Oh wow! Now, did you think that Friday the 13th, the final chapter, would be as big as it is?
I had no idea since I had never seen any of the franchise.
Walking Dead doing there?
By the way, since you said that, it is the biggest grossing of all of them. Both chapters have made more money than any of them. Some of them, two of them, twice of them together. So Mac was made so far. So I've been very happy with that.
How long were you in, I guess, wardrobe and makeup getting the prosthetics on for?
How long did it take to do it?
Yeah.
If we were shooting at 6 o'clock in the morning, I'd have to come in around 2:30. Now that's when they put the makeup on like this.
Hi, Judy.
Well, that was changed, and they made a complete rubber mask like this. It could just be pulled over my head and glued down around my throat and chest. And that took 10 minutes. I got to meet about $3,000 a day.
Much needed improvement to do just the full mask, I'm sure.
I love it.
Yeah, especially
much easier.
I wanted to ask
Now, with this being your final convention appearance, what made you decide to choose Horrorhound as your final convention?
I asked my agent if I do one more and publicize it here for my last convention. So I accepted. I'm glad I did.
Good. Well, I thank you so much for your time, and thank you for letting us come over and interview you.
Certainly welcome.
We're here with 3 members of the Heathens. This is their, last night was their first concert in 10 years, I believe?
Well, my first concert with them in 10 years. They played without me.
Okay.
Yeah, struggled. Now they're back. They're begging for a resurgence.
So how did the Heathens get their start?
Excellent question. It got its start.
It got its start.
We're looking to write some motorcycle-themed music, motorcycle gang-centric music. So we started writing songs from a 60s club member's point of view, and that just turned into more and more shows and more motorcycle shows that we were playing. And now here we are at a horror convention. Who would have thought?
Now,
what year was that? What year was that?
Al, what year was that?
People have been asking me, I don't know the answer.
2002.
Now, Beach Blanket Bingo was your first album, correct?
Beach Blanket Beatdown.
Beatdown. That was your first album, correct?
Yeah, that was our first release.
Was it the first release that was for Dice Magazine?
Yes.
Now, do you guys have a favorite song off Beach Blanket Beatdown?
All?
All of them?
Not my problem.
It's not my problem. Really, come on. Oh, yeah, this song.
No, that's my favorite.
Not my problem is the crowd favorite, but or our favorite usually isn't one that's the crowd favorite. The crowd chooses usually what you don't like.
Right.
Although they do like it, not my problem. I think it's too fast and I think it's too short.
Yeah.
I like the long, slower ones. Yeah. I like it long and slow, and they like it fast.
Now, what was your what other albums have you guys released?
Well, we put out this one here, which is in front of you, which is Splitting Lanes, Taking Names, and it's just more motorcycle-centric rock and roll.
With almost all the same tracks from it.
Yeah, we have utilized.
Oh, no, they're not all in there. No, Panic Girl wasn't on there. Oh. Well, it was in that original recording session.
Now, you guys played for the first time with Sean here. How do you guys think the concert went?
A lot of fun. But, I mean, it was the only downside was we were really rushed. Like it was like get on, play immediately. I mean, they were like it was you know that's kind of what happens when you book too many bands and you have a small window, and we had to use other people's equipment. I had to use. Huh? I didn't have well, it was okay for them. They brought their own guitars. They just had to use other amp. Our whole drum set, it's kind of a pain in the ass. I brought my own cymbals and stuff, but if you're not used to it, it's I was struggling there at times, but.
Where exactly are the Heathens based out of?
Orange County, California.
I was going to say, I thought you had mentioned California.
Yes, Orange County, California.
The OC.
But the original Heathens motorcycle gang that was around in the 60s and 70s was from Venice and Inglewood, California. And that's where we got the name from.
With their blessing.
With their blessing.
Yeah.
Now, where can people go to find the Heathens online if they want to buy your albums or listen to your wonderful music? iTunes?
Facebook page.
Yep. And is there anything you guys would like to promote before you take out? Other than the Heathens, oh yeah. Like what you just did.
I brought him back.
Yeah.
We have a special guest here, the bass player of the Heathens, Mr. Ryan Ritchie. He's making an appearance. Mr. Ritchie, what is your favorite Heathen song?
I need Sean to sign it too. No pressure.
Yeah, no pressure.
Oh, you're recording this?
This is video.
No, she's just going to snap a photo.
It's an interview, my friend.
I think listening to and playing is different. Listening to, I think Tough Kids is my favorite song. I played last night. But to play, teenager, probably.
Just like screaming fucking.
Which is the song we ended with last week. Everybody.
Everybody else has already signed it. Thank you. Thank you.
Me too, and we fucking didn't get to play it last night. It's the one we cut. That's like my favorite song to play. I was so pissed. Absolutely no plans. Well, there is a possible booking, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm playing it.
The Born Free motorcycle show in Orange County in June. Yeah, so we'll see. We're working on that right now.
There's a rotating door at drummer in this band. So it's kind of like who's ever available plays.
Once you're in the Heathens, you're in the Heathens.
Yeah, it's blood in, blood out.
I left a long time ago. Now I'm back. I'm the first and seventh baseman.
Have you guys gotten more popularity than from your songs being on Horse Hall Ground?
Oh yeah.
I guess here. At this show, yeah. Yeah, I mean, because I think that's the first time I've played with them that people knew the songs at least.
That's the first time I played it.
Yeah, so that was cool.
He's been here since 2002.
Yeah, so, and I hadn't played with the band since 2007 or 6, 7, I don't remember. 7 probably.
Essentially, that was our first time playing.
Oh, us?
Yeah, the 4 of us.
Well, the 4 of us, yeah. But you hadn't played in almost 10 years before you did Japan with it, right? Like 8 years or something.
Yeah, we tend to just play out of the country because we only play once a year. And fortunately, it happens to be out of the country usually when we play. We're out of state now. That's right. If the crowd clamors, we come across.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping, if I can play that show with them coming up, I'll definitely do it. But I travel so much in this horror world, conventions and all this stuff, that it's hard for me to have a free weekend. In fact, it was amazing the 4 of us were able to pull this off. This guy travels nonstop as well, doing what he does. So.
All right, we thank you for your time, because I know you guys have to catch flights, so we appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
We're here with Miss Judy Aronson, who was in Friday the 13th, the final chapter, and also Weird Science. Now, so how did you get involved with Friday the 13th, the final chapter?
I got the call to audition for it, and I auditioned for the role. I got it. It was my first film, actually.
Okay. Now, with you being in Weird Science as Hilly and Samantha in Friday the 13th, how hard is it to keep the quotes you write on autographs?
Oh my gosh, that's funny you ask, because I've actually messed them up sometimes, and as soon as somebody leaves, I was like, oh wait a minute, I signed Hilly on a Friday the 13th, or I signed Sam on Weird Science, and I try and find them.
Now, I know now you're currently doing yoga, I think?
Pilates.
Pilates?
Yeah.
Could you talk about that a little bit?
I own a studio in Los Angeles called Rock Body Pilates, and it's interesting. It's not traditional Pilates. It's it's a fusion of Pilates, weight training, and cardio. So it's full body, set to music, sweatiness.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it.
Thank you.